Let me ask you something. How many times have you looked at your paycheck and thought, is this it? You work hard. You show up every day. You give your energy, and yet at the end of the month, there's barely anything left. It's easy to feel like your dreams are slipping further away, like you're trapped in a routine that pays the bills but steals your spark. Society tells you that you can't build wealth while working a 9 to 5, that you have to quit your job and take huge risks to create success. But that's a lie. You absolutely can build $1 million life, even while working your regular job. If you stop just working at your job and start working on your life, $1 million life isn't just about having $1 million. It's about freedom. Freedom to wake up without panic, to say yes to what matters, and to live on your own terms, not your boss's. The secret isn't in quitting your job. It's in using it. Think of your 9 to 5 as your first business partner. It pays your bills. It funds your dreams. It gives you stability while you build something greater. But too many people use their jobs as an excuse to stop growing, instead of using them as a foundation to rise higher. Every evening after work, every weekend, every spare hour can become an investment, not in your boss's dream, but in yours. Let me share a story. I know a woman who worked in accounting. Same desk, same hours, same routine. But every night after her shift ended, she studied digital marketing. On weekends, she built her own online store. At first, she made a few sales, then a few $100s a month. 3 years later, she replaced her full-time income. She didn't quit to chase a fantasy. She built her dream quietly, consistently, while staying grounded in her reality. That's how $1 million life is built. Not overnight, not through luck, but through small, intentional steps. Here's the simple blueprint. First, master your mornings. The first hour of your day decides your direction. Don't scroll through chaos. Scroll through your goals. Plan, reflect, and align yourself with purpose. Second, build skills, not excuses. Every new skill compounds, like interest. Learn how to communicate, how to sell, how to manage money. These are the real degrees of success. Third, create one stream of income at a time. Don't chase everything. Master one thing. Whether it's a side hustle, an investment, or a service, build patiently. And fourth, invest in yourself. Read, listen, connect, grow. Because the greatest return on investment is always you. The real tragedy isn't that people have small dreams. It's that they bury them beneath the comfort of a paycheck. They wait for someday, but someday never comes. You don't need a rich uncle, a perfect plan, or a lucky break. You just need a decision. A decision to stop trading your purpose for your paycheck. To start using your job as a foundation for your freedom. So tonight, when you come home from work, don't collapse on the couch. Sit down with your dream. Write it, plan it, build it, brick by brick, day by day. Because one morning, you'll wake up and realize you didn't just work for money. You built $1 million life. A life of freedom, purpose, and power. Remember this. $1 million life isn't about what you earn. It's about what you create. And it all begins with one small decision. To start today, here are some key points related to this. Your 9 to 5 could be your investor, not your cage. Use it to fund your dreams. $1 million life is about freedom and intention, not just wealth. Consistency in small actions creates massive transformation. Building valuable skills is the foundation of financial and personal growth. The greatest investment you can make is in yourself. You don't need to quit your job. Start building your dream right where you are. Your 9 to 5 can be your investor, not your cage. Most people see their job as a prison, a place that limits their potential, a routine that traps their creativity. They count the days until Friday, dread the sound of Monday mornings, and convince themselves that their paycheck is proof of survival, not success. But what if you looked at it differently? What if you saw your job not as a chain, but as a fuel source, the first investor in your dream? Because that's exactly what it can be if you choose to use it that way. Think of it like this. Every paycheck is seed money. It may not be millions, but it's capital. The bills, the rent, the groceries, yes, they matter, but after the essentials, What you do with what's left determines whether you stay stuck or start building something greater. Most people spend what remains trying to escape the stress of work. New clothes, dinners, subscriptions, distractions that numb the discomfort of a dream deferred. But the ones who rise see their paycheck as a partner. They use it to buy books, courses, tools, and freedom. They understand that money earned from a job can be transformed into momentum for something bigger. There's a man I once met named Daniel. He worked in customer service, answering phone calls for 8 hours a day. His headset a reminder of where he wasn't free. He hated it. But one day he realized that hating it changed nothing. So he made a deal with himself. His job would become his first investor. Every month, he saved a portion of his income, not for a vacation, but for a vision. He bought a camera, learned photography, and started taking pictures for local businesses on weekends. The first few months, no one cared, but he kept going. One client led to another. A year later, his side income equaled his monthly salary. And when he finally quit, he didn't leave his job out of frustration. He graduated from it with gratitude. That's the mindset shift that changes everything. Your job doesn't have to be your forever, but it can be your foundation. It gives you stability while you take risks elsewhere. It funds your experiments. It buys you time to learn. It gives you breathing room while you figure things out. It's not a cage. It's a construction site for your future, if you use it wisely. There's power in reframing how you see where you are. Instead of saying, I'm stuck here, start saying, I'm being sponsored to build something. Your employer is paying you to learn discipline, time management, teamwork, and consistency. All skills that millionaires pay thousands to master. The 9 to 5 world trains you in ways most people overlook. It teaches you how to deal with deadlines, people, stress, and responsibility. And those lessons, if applied to your own life, become the foundation for independence. It's not about escaping your job. It's about extracting from it wisdom, experience, and funding. You can build your side project after work. You can invest in your dream using your current income. You can build a new future without burning the old one down. The secret is discipline. Imagine treating your salary like startup capital, your evenings like work hours for your own business, and your weekends as your personal board meetings. Bit by bit, that energy compounds. One of my favorite quotes says, "Don't resent the platform that's paying for your progress." Your job is a platform. It's not your enemy. It's your early investor. Every great dream starts with someone funding it, and in your case, it's you, through your 9 to 5. So instead of wishing for freedom to come from outside, start building it from within. The paycheck you receive every month is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your investment in a life that no longer depends on it. A $1 million life is not defined by the number in your bank account, but by the level of freedom you feel when you wake up in the morning. It's the quiet peace of knowing you're living life on your terms, not someone else's. Most people chase money thinking it will buy them freedom, but often it does the opposite. They earn more and spend more, buying things that fill their homes but not their hearts. Freedom isn't about what you own. It's about what no longer owns you. The real $1 million life begins when you stop chasing status and start creating meaning. I once met a man named Jacob. He drove a luxury car, wore designer suits, and had a title that sounded impressive. From the outside, he looked successful. But one night, after a business dinner, he admitted something quietly. I have money, he said, but no time. I have a house, but I'm never home. I have success, but I feel like I'm losing myself. That sentence stayed with me because it revealed a truth few people admit. Money without freedom is just another form of poverty. Jacob had built wealth, but he hadn't built a life. A $1 million life, on the other hand, is filled with moments that feel rich even when your wallet isn't. It's having time to watch your kids grow, to take a walk without checking your phone, to wake up excited about what you're creating. It's being able to say no to things that drain your energy and yes to things that make your soul come alive. True wealth is the ability to choose. When you have freedom of choice, you are rich, no matter how much money you have in your account. I remember a woman named Sarah who worked as a nurse. Her days were long and exhausting, yet she was always smiling. When I asked her why, she said, "Because I'm doing something that matters." Every shift I work is a gift I give to someone else. She didn't have millions in the bank, but she had meaning in her heart, and that made her rich. Later, she started a small wellness blog on the side, sharing stories from her experience. Over time, it grew into something that brought her both income and joy. She didn't chase $1 million dream. She created $1 million life. The difference lies in intention. Money can buy comfort, but freedom is something you build through choices. Choices about how you spend your time, who you allow in your space, and what you say yes to. You can have all the luxury in the world and still feel trapped if you're not living with purpose. As one writer said, people sacrifice their health to make money, then spend money to recover their health. But what if you built your life differently, with balance, gratitude, and awareness? Imagine waking up one morning without rushing. You make your coffee slowly, feeling the warmth in your hands. You take a deep breath, look around, and realize you're not racing towards something. You're living inside something you built. That is freedom. That is wealth. The $1 million life is the one where you control your time instead of letting time control you. The truth is, most people are chasing a feeling, not a figure. They want peace, love, security, joy. They just think money will deliver it. But if you focus on building freedom, financial, emotional, and spiritual, money naturally follows. It becomes a tool, not a master. When you design your life around your values, not your salary, you stop surviving and start living. That's when life begins to feel like yours again. And when that moment arrives, when you wake up knowing you own your time, your mind, your purpose, that's when you realize the secret all along. The $1 million life was never about becoming rich. It was about becoming free. Consistency beats intensity every single time. We live in a world addicted to speed. Everyone wants to go viral, get rich overnight, and achieve success in a flash. But real growth doesn't work like that. Success is quiet. It's slow. It's invisible for a long time before the world finally notices. People don't fail because they don't have talent or opportunity. They fail because they quit too soon. They confuse motion with progress and effort with results. But those who would understand something deeper, small, consistent actions every single day build empires that momentary bursts of motivation never can. Think of the gym. The person who lifts weights once a month for 3 hours won't see results. But the one who shows up for 30 minutes a day, every day, transforms completely. It's not the size of the effort that matters. It's the rhythm of it. Life rewards persistence more than power. There's a story about a man who hammered at a rock 100 times without it cracking, and on the 101st hit, it split open. It wasn't the last hit that broke it. It was 100 that came before it. That's what consistency does. It builds invisible momentum until suddenly everything breaks open. I once met a young woman named Layla who dreamed of being a writer. For years, she talked about writing a book, but fear always held her back. One day, she made a promise to herself, just 1 page a day. No excuses, no pressure, just 1 page. For the first few weeks, nothing special happened. The pages piled up slowly. Some nights, she wanted to quit, but she kept writing. 1 page turned into 10, 10 turned into 100, and within a year, she had written an entire novel. Not because she was the most talented or the most inspired, but because she was consistent. When she finally published her book, people called her an overnight success. She just smiled. They saw the result, not the repetition. That's how consistency works. Quietly, like water shaping stone. It's unglamorous. It's not exciting, but it's the most powerful force you'll ever harness. Most people chase intensity. They work hard for a few days, then burn out. They set huge goals, feel overwhelmed, and give up. The consistent ones don't sprint. They walk steadily forward. And that steady walk takes them farther than any burst of speed ever could. There's something sacred about showing up for yourself every day, even when no one notices. Especially when no one notices. Because those are the moments when your character is being built. You learn discipline, resilience, and patience. The real currencies of success. Think of a bamboo tree. For years, it doesn't show a single inch of growth above the soil. It looks like nothing is happening. But underground, it's growing roots, deep, strong, and wide. And then suddenly in one season, it shoots up 90 feet tall. That's consistency. That's faith in unseen progress. Every dream you have will test your patience. It will whisper to you, it's not working. It will tempt you to stop. But every time you keep going, even when you don't see results, you're proving that you deserve what you're building. As James Clear once wrote, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Consistency is your system. It's what keeps you grounded when motivation fades. So many people waste their lives waiting for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, the perfect mood. But success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who return. Those who return to the practice, to the discipline, to the dream, day after day, even when it's boring, even when it's slow, even when no one believes in them yet. And that's the beauty of it. Consistency doesn't shout. It whispers. It whispers, keep going. It whispers, trust the process. It whispers, your time is coming. And one day, without warning, all those quiet days will add up to something extraordinary. Proof that the small things you did every day weren't small at all. They were the very things that changed your life. Building valuable skills is like building the muscles of your destiny. Invisible at first, but life-changing over time. Every skill you learn becomes a tool, a weapon, a doorway to something greater. Yet most people never realize the power of skill building because they're too busy chasing comfort. They stay in the safety of what they already know, afraid to look foolish, afraid to start small. But here's the truth. The people you admire, the ones who seem lucky or gifted, they aren't just talented, they're trained. They made a choice to learn, to fail, to try again, to sharpen what others neglect. Skills are what turn ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. I once knew a man named Amir who worked as a cashier in a small store. Day after day, he scanned items, smiled at customers, and went home feeling stuck. He thought life had already decided his limits. But one evening, he overheard a conversation between two customers talking about online business. Something clicked. He didn't know anything about it, but he felt curious. So instead of wasting his evening scrolling through social media, he started watching free tutorials on marketing, learning how online sales worked. He stayed up late after work, taking notes, testing small ideas. It took months before anything made sense. But slowly he built a skill. He learned how to sell, how to write, how to understand people. That one skill, communication, changed everything. Within 2 years, Amir wasn't a cashier anymore. He was running his own small e-commerce store. The job that once drained him had quietly funded his education. That's the secret most people overlook. Your skill is your freedom. Every skill you build adds another layer of power to your life. It doesn't matter where you start. Learn how to communicate, how to manage money, how to lead, how to create, how to persuade, how to solve problems. Each one expands your value. The more you grow, the less replaceable you become. And when you're no longer replaceable, you start to live life on your terms. People think opportunities come to those who are lucky, but in truth, opportunities come to those who are ready. Every skill you build prepares you for doors that haven't opened yet. There's a saying that goes, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Learning new skills keeps you ready. It turns time into leverage. It turns effort into independence. Imagine two people working the same job. One does the bare minimum. The other learns something new every month. A year later, they're no longer equal. The one who kept learning has options. The one who didn't stay stuck. Skill building is an act of self-respect. It says, I'm investing in me, even when no one notices, even when there's no guarantee. Every book you read, every course you take, every uncomfortable attempt adds invisible weight to your potential. It's like laying bricks in the dark. You won't see the wall rising yet, but one day you'll look back and realize you built a fortress of value. There's a woman named Rosa who once told me, I used to think I was behind. Now I realize I just needed to learn faster. She started small, one new skill every 3 months. Public speaking, budgeting, writing. By the time 5 years passed, she had become the person people turned to for guidance. She didn't chase success. She built herself until success chased her. When you stop waiting for the world to hand you chances and start preparing for them, everything changes. Skills are the bridges between who you are and who you dream of becoming. And the beauty of it is, no one can take them away. You can lose your job, your money, your comfort, but not your skills. They travel with you everywhere, silently opening doors. In the end, your future won't be built by luck or timing. It will be built by skills, small, simple, steadily learned. Because the moment you master the art of learning itself, you become unstoppable. Life will always reward those who never stop expanding. The more you grow, the more life gives you to grow into. Investing in yourself is the most powerful and profitable decision you will ever make. Yet it's the one thing most people postpone until it's too late. We spend money on clothes, gadgets, and nights out, but hesitate to spend on our growth. We buy comfort before we buy wisdom, and then wonder why life feels stuck in the same loop. The truth is, your life only grows as much as you do. Every dollar, every hour, every ounce of energy you put into improving yourself comes back multiplied in ways that money alone never could. I remember meeting a man named Tarek who worked in sales. He was average at his job, blending into the crowd. But deep down, he wanted to stand out. One day, he attended a seminar on communication, something his co-workers laughed about. "You're wasting your weekend," they said. But Tarek saw it differently. He saw it as planting a seed. That weekend changed everything. He learned how to listen deeply, how to connect emotionally, how to tell stories that sold ideas. Within months, his sales tripled. A year later, he was leading his own team. The investment that cost him one weekend became the spark that transformed his entire career. When people asked how he did it, he smiled and said, "I stopped waiting for someone else to promote me. I started promoting myself." That's what investing in yourself means, refusing to wait for permission to evolve. It's reading when you could be scrolling. It's listening to something that feeds your mind instead of something that drains your spirit. It's signing up for that course, even when you're not sure it'll work, because you believe you're worth a try. Too many people wait until life forces them to change, instead of choosing to grow before they have to. But those who rise, who live abundantly, who build the kind of lives others dream of, they don't wait for the right time. They create it through learning, through effort, through inner investment. The richest people in the world aren't the ones with the most assets. They're the ones with the most awareness. They know that if everything they own was taken from them, they could rebuild it because they have something more valuable than wealth, wisdom. When you invest in your mind, your skills, your health, your spiritual strength, you're building a foundation that can never be stolen. It's like planting trees that will keep giving fruit long after the storm passes. There's a quote that says, "If you think education is expensive, try ignorance." Every mistake that comes from not knowing costs far more than what it would have taken to learn. A book might cost $20, but one idea from that book could save you years of struggle. A course might cost you a paycheck, but one lesson might unlock a lifetime of income. Yet, we hesitate, convincing ourselves that it's too much, forgetting that we're the asset that generates everything else. When you grow, everything in your life expands to match that growth. Better opportunities appear. Better people enter your circle. Better decisions are made naturally because you're operating from a higher level of understanding. Think of it like a garden. You are the soil. If you don't water it, nothing grows. Investing in yourself, through learning, rest, reflection, or mentorship, is watering your own soil. It's what allows every other part of your life to flourish. The job, the money, the success, they're all just fruits of the inner garden you cultivated. You can't harvest what you never planted. And yes, it takes time. It takes sacrifice. It means saying no to short-term pleasure for long-term power. But one day, you'll wake up and realize that the books you read, the podcasts you listen to, the mentors you learn from, they change not just what you earn, but who you are. You'll see that the most important investment you ever made wasn't in stocks or real estate. It was in yourself. Because when you grow, everything else follows. When you become more, life gives you more. And that's the kind of wealth that never runs out. You don't need to quit your job to start building your dream. You just need to start where you are with what you have. So many people delay their destiny waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect courage. They say, I'll start when I have more money, or I'll begin when things calm down. But life never calms down. The timing never becomes perfect. The truth is, the best time to begin was yesterday, and the second best time is now. Every dream that's ever come true started with someone who began before they were ready. Waiting only feeds fear, but starting builds faith. There's a story about a woman named Alina who worked as a receptionist. Every day she sat behind a desk, answering phones, scheduling meetings, and wondering if this was all life had planned for her. She loved art, but told herself she didn't have the time or money to pursue it. One night, after another long shift, she made a simple decision. She would draw for just 10 minutes before bed. 10 minutes, nothing more. That small commitment changed everything. What began as a nightly sketch turned into a habit. Within months, she was sharing her art online. Within a year, she was selling prints. She didn't quit her job. She didn't wait for a miracle. She just started. And that small start grew into something that changed her entire life. People overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. They think progress has to be dramatic to be real. But the truth is, most success stories don't begin with big leaps. They begin with tiny steps. The man who started his business didn't begin with an office. He began at his kitchen table. The woman who became a speaker didn't start on a stage. She started talking to herself in the mirror. Every dream is built in the unseen hours, the quiet places, the moments where no one's watching and no one's clapping. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't talent. It's motion. Those who begin win. The world loves to celebrate people once they're shining, but few talk about the messy middle. The nights when you're tired, the mornings when you doubt yourself, the times when it feels like you're going nowhere. But those moments are sacred. They're the building ground of greatness. Every big dream grows inside the small space of consistency. As one author wrote, don't wait for the light to appear at the end of the tunnel. Walk down there and light it yourself. That's what starting does. It turns darkness into direction. There's a man named Rayhan who dreamed of starting a podcast while working at a call center. His friends laughed, saying he didn't have the equipment or the voice for it. But he started anyway. He recorded on his phone, sitting in his car during lunch breaks. His first few episodes were awkward, full of background noise. But he kept going. By the 10th episode, he sounded more confident. By the 30th, he had guests. By the 50th, he had a following. He didn't wait for perfect. He let progress make him perfect. His story is proof that you don't need everything to start. You just need the courage to take the first step. Every excuse you make today becomes a regret tomorrow. You don't need to leave your job, move to another city, or wait until you have the right resources. You can build quietly, slowly, right where you are. You can turn your evenings into creation time, your weekends into progress sessions. You can trade your complaints for commitment. It's not about having time. It's about making time. One day, you look back at this moment, the one where you were unsure, afraid, and hesitant, and realize it was the most powerful moment of all, because that's when you chose to begin. That's when you stopped waiting for the right path and started paving your own. The truth is, you already have enough to start. The dream doesn't need more money, more approval, or more luck. It needs you, your belief, your action, your willingness to begin imperfectly. And when you do, you'll discover that the universe doesn't reward perfection. It rewards motion. Every small step becomes a spark, and soon enough, that spark becomes a fire that lights up your entire life. And so tonight, I want you to remember this. Your dream is not waiting for permission. Your life is not waiting for perfect timing. Your freedom is not waiting for someone else to hand it to you. Every hour you waste doubting yourself is a brick in the wall between you and the life you deserve. Every moment you hesitate is a moment someone else is building their dream while you watch. Start where you are. Start with what you have. Start now, not tomorrow, not next week, not after the perfect opportunity. Start now. Show up for yourself. Invest in yourself. Learn, build, create, persist. Every small action compounds. Every small choice fuels your future. Every single step you take today echoes through your tomorrow. Do not wait for luck. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for someone else to believe in you. The power is in your hands, in your mind, in your heart. You are the one who can change your life. You are the one who can break the cycle. You are the one who can create freedom, wealth, and purpose while others are still dreaming. So I ask you again, what will you do today? Will you keep waiting, or will you take one step, one action, one decision toward your million-dollar life? The world will not pause. Time will not stop. Your dreams will not wait. But the choice is yours, and it is urgent. Build your skills. Build your freedom. Build your life. Build your future. Build it quietly. Build it fiercely. Build it relentlessly. And one day, when you look back, you will not regret the hours you invested in yourself. You will not regret the moments you refused to wait. You will not regret starting when it seemed too soon, too small, too impossible. Because here's the truth that will echo in your soul long after today. The life you dream of is not a fantasy. The life you dream of is not reserved for someone else. The life you dream of is waiting for you to begin. And when you begin, everything changes. Your million-dollar life is not out there. It is inside you. Start now. Build now. Live now. And never forget, the only thing standing between you and the life you deserve is a decision to start. Make that decision today. Your support means everything. If this resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember this. Your future begins the moment you say yes to yourself. Thank you for being here. See you in the next one.